So this first short video talks about why PTE is so easy compared to IELTS, and it is easy. In every way you can get a higher score in PTE with lower English than in IELTS. And the big problems with IELTS are that you have to talk or write so that a human can understand you. With PTE, they don't need to be understood at all. The good news is, if your English is really good, do IELTS. It'll take 1 or 2 days practice. But PTE is a gift for international students at the moment. It's really worth doing. It's far easier if you know a few tricks, and they're not secrets. I'm not going to sell you an online course, so I'm not going to sell you tuition. This is all stuff that is available all over the internet and has been tried and tested by thousands of students. So let's go through why PTE is so easy. Number one is the speaking. In the speaking, you do not need to make an argument. You do not need to use logic. You don't need to explain anything. It's really just repeating. So the first big section is read aloud. So you read a few sentences into the computer. You'll never do this in real life. I get the idea that they're trying to test pronunciation and intonation, but really it doesn't have any connection to speaking. When we speak, we often correct ourselves. We often say well, but the computer at this stage, and the Pearson algorithm, of course, is not going to be the best technology in the world. Education tech is usually a bit on the low side of things. It's not really going to handle natural speaking, and to be honest, it's not testing much, especially at the high levels. The second part, where you listen and repeat, is the same idea. You're not explaining, you're not communicating, you're simply trying to repeat the words that you've heard in a similar way, a bit like karaoke. And I think a lot of you might be able to sing karaoke in English. It doesn't mean you're able to go to university and have a discussion, but this is good news if you're trying to pass this test. The other parts of speaking seem to be relatively unimportant, and again, mostly can be dealt with a template, which is where the writing comes in. At the end of speaking, you have to summarize a paragraph, we have to write an essay, and really you just need a template. The computer is not judging if it even makes sense. Some of the templates out there are just crazy, but they work because the computer can look at the vocabulary, can look at the grammar, but it can't understand at this stage, and certainly not with the technology Pearson has. A couple of templates, you should be getting 80 plus in the writing, and I've seen students who have 90 who are clearly a 6 in IELTS, or maybe below. So don't feel that it's beyond you. The next section, the reading, again, the reading, you don't need to understand it. You don't need to comprehend very much. Reading and writing fill in the blanks is the big one to look at, and that's really about grammar and vocab. If you're from India or Korea, this is bread and butter for you guys. You can get a really high score in reading without really understanding what's going on. The sections that you should try to understand, so multiple choice, single answer or multiple answer, you don't need. The algorithm hasn't made them valuable, so just guess. To be honest, you can probably have an educated guess with very few seconds involved. The whole idea that this is too easy is clear to Pearson. You saw that at the beginning of 2020, at the beginning of 2021, end of 2020, they changed their equivalencies with IELTS, and the reason they changed that is because the professional degrees, teaching, nursing, medicine, law, they're slowly pushing Pearson off the table. They're not making a fuss because that would cause problems for them, but they know that the students they're getting aren't up to the job. And for good reason. The test doesn't do what the test wants to do. However, Pearson can't move. They've got a test behind them, the Duolingo test, DET, which is cheaper and even easier and used by some big American universities, and it's coming to a university near you. So they really can't make it more difficult. They can't make it easier, although they've reduced the undergraduate score to 46. So it's a great opportunity to get in, even if your English is not strong. The final section of Pearson is the listening section. And again, you don't need to understand. Right from dictation is the main one. And again, you just want to repeat what you've got. You can put a few extra words in there. It's not about understanding for the computer. It's just about, did you fulfill the criteria? It's a great opportunity for anyone who's learning English to get into university or to immigrate, and do it soon. I think eventually universities will have to make decisions about Pearson, and governments, I think, a few years down the track, they're always behind it. Good luck with your studies. Next week we'll talk about read aloud, which is the first big section of the speaking, and a great opportunity to get off to a good start in PTE.